Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Dr. Soul Brother here again with a remedy to help cure your ills. I want to greet everybody. Thank you for joining in, and I want to get straight to it, as I always try to do. I won't be long, but I got to get to the point here. Dr. Soul Brother is concerned about a trend that's been happening for a minute now, and that is black owned restaurants that are not black staffed. Say that again. Black owned restaurants that are not black staffed. That to me is highly problematic as well as very revelatory. There was a time when I was growing up, it was a given. If you had a black owned restaurant, it was black staffed. Nowadays, it's black owned but not black staffed. And the thing is this, if you have other groups who look out for themselves, and they do, Latinos, all types of Asians, white folks who are WASP or Jewish, and other groups, there's their staff represents the culture. We, on the other hand, we're doing the very opposite. And one of the reasons for this is because we've been shamed and guilted as it relates to looking out for ourselves and engaging in cultural continuity. And I'm saying to my people right now, don't fall for the okey don't drink the Kool Aid because that right there, what I'm telling you, other people are not shamed and guilted as it relates to that. Somebody once said, "Well, we're not going to do what white people do. Um, my staff is multiracial." Okay. Um, so when you and the same people who talk that, when they see other establishments that, for example, a Latino establishment that is Latino staff, nobody gives them any pushback. Not only do white folks not give them pushback, black folks don't give them a pushback. Nobody says anything. So then, why is it an issue when we do it? Like anything else, when we try to engage in cultural continuity and um, other things that reinforce our culture, that's when we're shamed and guilted. And Dr. Soul Brother says that needs to end right now. It really does. We can't have this for a host of reasons. Um, you go into, if you are in Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles, I use Los Angeles for example. You'll have places like Doolin's, um, Harold and Bell's, and other places like that. Black staffed as well as black owned, or black owned as well as black staffed, I should say. Um, but when you go to other places, I mean, for example, there's a Louisiana restaurant that's out in the uh, San Gabriel Valley, and it's black owned but not black staffed. I mean, this is my thing. Please explain to me what that's about and why that's even necessary. When in truth, it's not necessary, but just explain that to me. Um, I just wanted to hop on here and get that in because that really bothers me. It really does. And we're seeing it more now than ever before. Again, during my childhood, growing up, even young adulthood, that wasn't the case, but it is now. Here we are in 2024, and this is happening. No, there's something wrong with this. Something is terribly, terribly wrong. It really is. And um, it's almost like the guy in the movie, he got game with Denzel Washington, and the guy who played his son, he was interested in having a black agent when he was trying to play professional basketball. And the white guy who was recruiting him tried to discourage him when he put in a request for a black agent. And the white guy asked him why. He said, well, he felt a little more comfortable. Well, the white guy was trying to guilt and shame him as it related to that. So, again, if it was anybody else, That would not have been happening. That doesn't happen. But when it comes to us, all of a sudden, folks got a problem with it, and a lot of us, because we don't understand how this thing works, um, we get easily guilted and shamed. So what I'm saying is that needs to change. So I don't know. It's just, I mean, look, I was in Louisiana. This was, I want to say, 2016, and the restaurant Dookie Chase that was owned by um, Mrs. Layla Chase and her husband Dookie. Um, the husband had just passed the month before I was down there, and since that time, I want to say 2 years later, Mrs. Layla Leah Chase passed away. The point I'm making is that restaurant had been around for a long time, and a lot of civil rights people came through there. That's where they met Dr. King and people, celebrities like Lena Horne and a host of other people would eat there. And when the civil rights people would have meetings, they would sometimes have meetings there in the restaurant. So there was an involvement. My point is, it's black owned and it's black staffed, and it's actually a breath of fresh air, especially given today's environment. You know, so if let's say if I'm interested in opening uh, a black owned restaurant, well, if I'm opening it, it would be black owned. But I'm saying I'm opening it and it would be a black owned restaurant, you can bet your last dollar it's going to be black staffed. I mean, why would I have a black owned restaurant that specializes in black food, not just black owned, but it specializes in black food, uh, food that comes out of the black culture, I should say, here in America? Why would I have non-blacks on staff as a part of staff and non-blacks in the kitchen? That is something's wrong with that picture. But I can tell you what, if I did have that, I'm telling you, I would have black folk working in the kitchen. I mean, why would you not have Big Mom in the kitchen that know how to cook up some soul food and other kind of stuff? Which, by the way, um, I'm gonna do a show very soon uh, dealing with soul food. In fact, one of the things that I plan to do in the not too distant future is a show on that, but also uh, a show dealing with uh, um, where it's live streamed. Um, Dr. Soul Brother plans to do a live streaming, and because I want to be able to engage people and have a conversation about those things. Talk about those things you agree with, disagree with. Um, give me your support and I just love to hear your voices because I don't so much like monologue necessarily. I mean, monologue is fine and all that, but I prefer dialogue. That's what Dr. Soul Brother is about. And the reason why I say the remedies to cure your ill is because we're walking around here not well psychologically, and Dr. Soul Brother is very concerned about the plight of black folks in the society because we've really gone backward. We really have, and it's gone from bad to worse. And I see some things getting progressively worse, and I want to try as best I can um, in this space, try to educate as many people as I possibly can about um, those things that affect us, how they affect us, why they affect us, and solutions. I'm really about um, solutions to problems. I'm not just about talking about the problems and dissecting it all day long. I'm about solutions. So I would love to hear your thoughts or hear your thoughts. Um, Tell me what you think about black owned restaurants that are not black staffed, whether you agree with that, whether you don't have a problem with it, or other. But I'm telling you, Dr. Soul Brother has a problem with it for a whole bunch of reasons, for many of the reasons I stated early on. And it's really an embarrassment, frankly, that you can have a black owned business and you're not trying to employ your own people who look like you. No other group does that. But I know and understand why we do it because of how we've been conditioned. And again, I don't think this can be stressed enough. We've been shamed and guilted as it relates to um, being for your own and being pro-black. And when you're pro-black, you're accused of being anti-white. When um, the opposite of pro-black is anti-black. That's the truth of the matter. I mean, every other group can be encouraged to be pro them, pro Latino, pro Asian, uh, um, other ethnic whites, etc. I mean, you have restaurants like what's the one? Is an Italian restaurant. I'm drawing a blank right now, but um, any of those restaurants that reflect the culture of those ethnic whites, and it's not a problem. In fact, people salute them. But you come along and you engage in celebration of your culture as a black person, all of a sudden there's a problem. So I would love to find out from anyone, if you can, um, tell me in the chat your remarks, how you feel about this. Is it a situation where we should let things go, or should we engage in cultural continuity? And if you don't think that we should, tell me why. I'd like to hear that. And then at some point in the not too distant future, we can do it. I'm gonna do a live stream and really get feedback, because again, monologue is fine, but I personally prefer dialogue. That's my thing. So hit the subscribe button, hit the likes, and all of that, and I'll see you on the next one. And I'll end this by saying, until the next time, God bless.